Me with my ex-boyfriend of over 10 years, his wife has alienated him from all his friends and family and has started messaging me on Facebook. A little background, sorry there's lots of text and names, I'll try to keep this as clear as possible. My ex-boyfriend, Bill 36M, and I 36F were together for 10 years from the ages of 15 to 25, we lived together for the last 5 years of the relationship. We broke up very amicably with zero hard feelings. We just realized that we had both grown up into two very different people than we were at 15. I am still friendly with his mother and his brother, Fred 39M, through Facebook. Bill is also friends with my family members, and we have lots of mutual friends. After we broke up we remained friends, and a couple of years later I meet my wonderful husband, 38M, and I now have a gorgeous little girl, 4. Bill also met his current wife, Fiona 40F, around the same time I met my husband. We've both met each other's spouse and have gotten along well. Over time Bill and I grew even further apart and only exchanged niceties over Facebook once in a while, again no hard feelings, it's all part of growing up. The problems started when I fell pregnant with my daughter. Bill and Fiona have had trouble conceiving, and while I sympathize with the struggle they're having, it has started affecting their relationships with our mutual friends. Fiona started getting a little unhinged, for lack of better term, when she found out I was pregnant and told Bill he couldn't contact me anymore. I didn't really care. I understand it must be hard for her, so I didn't say anything at all as it's none of my business. After that she started defriending and blocking all of our mutual friends who were pregnant or had kids. This hurt my best friends, and feelings, as she was also Bill's best friend. And moved across the country, and Fiona told Bill that he couldn't see, and when she came to visit, which hurt and even more. I got pissed at Bill, and even though I wanted to stay out of it I had to tell him how much he hurt, and he told me that he would make an effort next time she visited, but he never did. Now Fiona and Bill have moved halfway around the world to Australia. She has cut off all contact with his family. Bill's older brother Fred had a baby recently, and Fiona instantly defriended Fred and his wife as well as Bill and Fred's mother. She refuses to let Bill spend time with his family over the holidays and wouldn't let him stay with his family when he came back to visit without her. I have largely stayed out of this because I do not want to get involved with the crazy, but recently Fiona has started emailing me. She got my email from Bill's account and has told me that I should stop talking to all our mutual friends so she can add them back on Facebook. What the ever-loving fuck. She's also telling me very personal details about their relationship and asking my advice, which is just crazy. She wants me to write up a statement that says that my ex has autism. He doesn't, so she can give it to his doctor. I haven't responded to any of her emails and I don't know what to do. I have had zero contact with Bill over the last 2 years since I talked to him about Anne, and am getting all this information from our mutual friends. This woman is obviously disturbed, and as much as I want to stay out of it, she's hurting people I care about and I think might be emotionally abusing my ex, who may be a pushover but is a genuinely nice guy. What can I do to help him? Reddit. I'm 100% sure she's reading his emails and Facebook, so I can't message him privately. Also, he lives in another country, so I can't try to meet up with him. There is definitely something wrong with her and I want to try to help her out too.
Relevant comment. Commenter, I would forward all the messages first to his family asking if they know what's going on. Next I would forward them to Bill's email saying you got these messages and are really worried. Even if she can see them, she knows that she can't get to him through you. Unfortunately, what you can do is limited. They're in a different country, you don't have any means of communication. You could call the police in that country, but I don't know if they'll be able to do anything. Ultimately he's an adult, so unless there's proof that she's abusing him or holding him against his will, there's not much you or his family and friends can do.
OP, good idea, I'll do that. I'm just worried he's being abused or she'll lash out at him somehow.
Eshlaw. One of my exes, years back, started dating a really toxic woman shortly after we broke up, but remained friends. It started small, isolation, pitting herself against his family and friends to make him choose, etc. Then it became crazy. Physical, psychological, and verbal abuse, lies to police and family/friends, threatening/cheerful/paranoid messages to his family and friends depending on what mood she was in. It was horrible to watch that happen to someone I cared about. Eventually he and I just stopped talking. It was easier for him to just do what she wanted. The thing is, when all that was going on, all I could do was make sure that he and anyone else that might be affected were aware of what was going on, forwarding her messages, warning mutual friends if they were mentioned, making sure his family was aware of what was happening. I was friends with his sister, make sure he knew that I would always be around to support him if he ever wanted to get out of that situation, and tell him about resources in our community for victims of domestic violence. Everything else was up to him. It's the same with Bill. He will ultimately have to decide when he just can't do it anymore and needs to get out. Right now, it seems like you've done what you can. If you have any contact with Bill further, I would just let him know that you'll be happy to help/support him if need be, and that he still has friends. Everything else is up to him. I think you're handling this pretty well, though. It seems like you have a level head on your shoulders, and haven't let this pull you into the craziness. Keep maintaining a distance, that's my best advice.
OP. Thanks. I'm so sorry that happened to your ex. I'm going to try to find a way of letting him know that I'll be here to support him when he wants it. Almost all of his friends and most of his family have stopped contacting him because of Fiona. Even my husband is worried about him. Like I said before, Bill may be spineless, but this is so unlike him. He's always been really social and family-oriented. He loved spending time with his brother and parents, and we used to go on holiday with them every year, so I know something is wrong. Update. Hi, even though my original post didn't get a lot of attention, there were some good responses and I thought I would update everyone as a lot has happened in the last couple of weeks. So I forwarded her messages to my ex's brother Fred. He called me immediately and said that he would try to get a hold of his brother as soon as possible. I forgot to say in my earlier post, but Bill works as an independent consultant/contractor in IT, so it was hard getting a hold of him in his workplace. Frank received a few responses from Bill, just short emails saying he was okay, but Fred wasn't really buying it. Thankfully I hadn't received any more messages from Fiona. I didn't reply to any of her emails, so I guess she gave up on me. I didn't think there was much more that anyone could do, so just got on with looking after my own family. My husband, let's call him Dan, knew that I was worried about my ex, and as a testament to what a great guy he is, he said about trying to contact him as they both work in the same field of IT. I know apparently I have a very specialized type, LOL. Dan is close to his boss and told him about the situation. Dan's boss contacted Bill through LinkedIn to set up a Skype consult. Dan's reasoning is that if Fiona is monitoring Bill's emails and social media, then this will fly under her radar as she doesn't know Dan's boss and his connection to us. My husband is a sneaky clever brat. They scheduled the call a day later and my husband hopped onto the call as well. He didn't tell me exactly what he said, but the gist of it is that Dan and his boss told Bill that we were all worried about him and that if he needed help to just let us know. Bill broke down and started crying. He felt so helpless and thought that no one cared about him. Turns out she was reading all his emails and deleted all the ones from his family as well as controlling all the finances. She was also physically assaulting him and was too embarrassed to tell anyone. She's just shy of 5 foot, he's 6 feet 4 inches. Dan and his boss told him to pack his bags and head to the airport, and they bought him a one-way ticket back home. Bill arrived home a week or so ago and he's doing well. He's staying with his mother and father, and Fred has been helping him get back on his feet and handle the legal stuff. Needless to say, they are extremely grateful to my husband and his boss and have paid back the cost of the ticket as well as buying Dan and his boss several bottles of very expensive bourbon, which they insisted on. We were happy to cover the ticket but weren't going to argue with them. Dan and I told them that now he's home we were going to take a step back. His family is looking after him now and they don't need our help anymore. We'll still keep in touch though, and I think we'll always be close to Bill and his family from now on. Fred did tell me that she doesn't want to come back home, so we don't have to worry about her turning up on our doorstep. I don't know how Fiona reacted. She hasn't sent me any emails, so I don't think she knows I was involved, or what's going to happen legally, because I don't want to be so involved anymore. It's time we focused on our family for a bit because I'm pregnant. Couldn't have picked a better man to breed with. Also, Dan's boss let Dan bill the hours of Bill's rescue as personal development because there are still decent people in the world.